Welcome to QCC's Face the Region. Face the Region is produced by Quinsigamond Community College to assist our region in attaining educational, economic, and personal prosperity. Welcome once again to QCC's Face the Region here on AM 830 WCRN, full service radio. I'm Zip Zipfel, and this afternoon chatting with the folks from Veterans Services here at QCC. John McHugh, the coordinator of Veterans Affairs, also Seth Mix, who's a student veteran, also the Vet Club president and Veteran Affairs specialist, and Bill Bennett. Can I call you, or William?
William, please.
William Bennett, a vet student as well. How you guys doing, and welcome to the program.
Oh, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Good. Seth, if I could just get a quick overview of some of the services you provide for the vets here at QCC.
Club-wise or office-wise?
Just in general, the services, office-wise.
For the most part, we have tried to make it so that vets have a place that they can be safe among their own kind, as it were, because they're definitely a specific group here on campus that really don't relate as well to other students coming here as, the 18, 19-year-olds.
Right, in other words, do you tend to be, what, a decade older, or 5 or 6 years?
5 or 6 years.
Just in general, is it tough for guys coming back from the service to kind of integrate into a social situation?
I would say so, because this campus specifically, I would use as an example, because you have all these kids who, and I'm not trying to dog on them at all, it's just, different life experiences. You have kids coming right out of high school who move directly to here, and this is what they know. They know their parents' house, and they know the drive to the college campus, And we have guys who have been on the complete opposite side of the world doing things that, unspeakable things,
Sure.
And, they come back here and have to try to relate back to those 18 and 19-year-olds. And I think that our office provides the ability to give them somewhere to calm down and resituate themselves before going back into it.
I understand,
Yeah.
and I think most people, it is tough for, I think, anybody who hasn't, really been in the service from a discipline point of view, much less facing the kind of real-life situations and horrific stuff that does go on in serving. Is counseling involved, or is it more of a support group?
I would say more support group side. It's like an informal counseling. We have the office open as much as we can staff it to allow people to come in and discuss their problems at any time.
Right.
And we have the comfy couches, the TV for people to just sit there and unwind. And then if they'd like to, we're there to talk, because we've either gone through it before or can direct them to someone who has.
Right.
We provide counseling services with a counselor here on Fridays. She comes up every Fridays, and she's there for the veterans. If a veteran's experiencing a problem, we guide them to the various counseling services that are available for them, either here in the college, local in the community, or in the veterans, in the veteran VA system. So we're more than likely, as veterans, to see that somebody's having a problem and get them aside, get them help. Sometimes it's just sitting in the office and letting somebody, blow off steam, and that's happened
That's a huge
several
part
times.
of it. Yeah.
And they feel better, because veterans will talk to veterans. It's hard for a veteran to talk to somebody who just has no idea what they've been through. And some of them have been through some very, very hairy stuff.
Or before I go any, I want to thank you all for your service in general. Well, it's something that needs to be said. Bill, how about your personal experience coming back and getting back into a campus situation?
When I was actually medically retired from the Army. I destroyed my back and my side, while I was in. And when I came to QCC, as soon as I got out, a lot of my family went here and they recommended it. I was on crutches and could barely walk. And the people here at the VA helped me. They walked me to every place I needed to go. They made sure if I couldn't get somewhere, they'll go get the stuff I needed. They'll even walk me to my car to make sure I get there okay. They're all very caring and go out of their way to help you in any way they can.
Right, which is so very important. in general, you know, as far as, and again, I don't want to get real political here, but what is the state of, not so much here on the QCC campus, but in general, what do you guys see as the most important things to bring to the forefront as in terms of needs for veterans that aren't being met these days? I don't know if that's a laundry list or...
I actually have something for that. Really, I think that all the services that can be done for veterans have generationally just gotten so much better. Like, we have guys who, you know, we had guys from the Vietnam era that were in the office yesterday just come and talk and hang out, and they talk about the issues they had with the VA, the issues they had with homecoming, and as we look at like the post 9/11 veterans like Will and myself, the services are getting so much better. You know, we have all these programs that are there to help, and the VA itself has actually gotten much better with dealing with disability issues and getting the veterans kind of the money that should be gotten to them. Like, I don't want to sound like, you know, gimme, but
Right.
there's a lot of things that we could use that for. Like, you know, Will's back, you know, actually being able to get the disability for that, which was now possible because of where all this counseling and veteran services has gotten to.
Great. We'll chat more about the veteran services here at QCC in just a couple of minutes as QCC's Face the Region continues here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Welcome back to QCC's Face the Region here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. I'm Zip Zipfel along with John McHugh, the coordinator of Veterans Affairs, also Seth Mix, who is a veteran student, the Vet Club president, and also Veterans Affairs specialist, and William Bennett, a veteran student attending QCC. During the break, guys, we were chatting a bit about some of the problems that face veterans, you know, re-entering a normal American lifestyle and going back to school. And you mentioned that what's the key problem they seem to be facing these days?
A lot of it's financial, okay? They need to apply to use their benefits. They need to get a certificate eligibility to post 9/11. That can take anywhere from a month to 3 months while they're going to school. Or not, they have to wait for that certificate before we can process them, especially if they're not 100%. What would aid everybody in this field would be for when they exit the military, that along with their DD-214, they get their certificate of eligibility. And that would cut a whole lot of administrative problems off for the college, or anybody in any educational benefit.
So if you were to recommend, if there's happens to be a guy or a gal listening today in that situation, what's the best way to expedite that?
If a veteran is not using their benefits, whether it's post 9/11, 1606, Chapter 35, any benefit from the VA, if you're not using it now, and you might think you want to use it in the future, go to e-benefits and apply for your certificate of eligibility. That will cut a lot of paperwork down the road. And you have the choice to use it or not. But the community college, I'm a product of the community college system as well, is the best place for veterans to reintegrate into the educational realm. Because a lot of guys come in, you know, they've been out of the service and out of education for maybe, you know, 4 to 10 years. Those writing skills and math skills perish, the academic ones. And the tutoring here, and this is true of all community colleges in Massachusetts, is right here. It's sort of in your face, you know, and that's one thing we try to, when we track veterans, we track their grades. If they look like they're having a failing problem, we contact them right away, give them the information, you know, link them up with tutoring services to help them be successful. I know I sort of veered off the track here.
No, that's fine.
The
You had mentioned actually, John, that there were the various benefits, do they differ from service group to service group?
Yes, they do. You have reserves, who get a benefit if they're enlisted for 6 years in the reserves. It's called 1606. They get a stipend every month if they're using it, then they have to pay to college. And that's one of the problems with that benefit.
Which this isn't branch specific, mind you. It's, you know, active reserves or
Yeah, it's-
National Guard difference.
Right.
You know.
It's whatever chapter they're under. And that becomes a problem along with chapter 35, because the veteran gets paid, but the college wants, they rightly wants their money up front. So they have to either, you know, find a way to finance it, do a payment plan, or, you know, wait until they can do it, and that's kind of hard. If the GI Bill, any of the chapters would just directly pay the school, would be much easier on everyone. We have 200 and some veterans, I think, right now.
Yeah, 220, I think.
And just think, if the average full-time veteran is paying anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 a semester, how much money that brings to the community college. It's a big block of money.
Guaranteed money.
Guaranteed, yes, guaranteed money. And that's important not only for the college, but for the veterans.
Which is kind of why we were able to formulate this department in the first place, because it was pitched to the management here that, you know, veterans are a source, you know, to put it in monetary terms, of that guaranteed money. And if, you know, we make it so that more vets want to come here, and we have over time, that is a larger source of income for the college. I think it ended up being like several million.
Wow.
Like over like a semester's time with everyone included.
And that allows us to provide better services.
Right.
Paula was here, Paula Ogden, who's the director, she was here by herself,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And then she got an admin person, and then she hired me, okay? And now, we do the advising, help the students pick out classes, advise them on which way they need to go. And Paula, because she came from a financial aid background, can really help them with financial aid. Because, like I said, if they're not getting the money up front, they need financial aid to hold their classes. Not that they were gonna take a loan, but it's just the way that the college sees, okay, they've got financial aid, we're gonna get our money one way or the other. So that makes us truly a one-stop place to go. We get phone calls from vets. We've had students who were deployed in forward areas, doing online courses that we facilitated. You know, registering somebody by email overseas can be can be a little bit difficult, especially when they don't know how much time they're gonna have where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
The National Guard, really great, because they register for classes, they tell the National Guard issues them almost immediately a certificate of eligibility, and all their classes and fees are paid for. So we run the gamut here. We try to track all of these things for all of these students to make sure that they get the services they need. And Paula has done a really great job building the department that does that.
Right. William, you're nodding. Has that been the case with you?
Yes, when I actually started school here back in 2014, it was just Paula and one of her admin people. And they helped me do everything. Like, even get me up to disability services so I can get the stuff I needed. Because with me, I couldn't walk up that hill. If I had to walk up the hill to do the parking lots, there's no way I could. But thanks to Paula telling me about disability services and walking me up there directly, and her explaining to them what my issue was, they immediately issued me a card and stuff so I can park anywhere on campus. And they allowed me to bring my medical paperwork later to back it up. So, because Paula vouched for me, I didn't have to walk that hill, which last time I walked it, it took me almost 20 minutes to get up it. So,
Amazing.
they just so helpful in so many different ways. I wouldn't have made it through school without veteran services here.
Wow. We're going to find out more about some of the obviously very valuable and important services that the Veteran Services here on QCC's campus provides. In just a couple of minutes, we'll take a quick break. We'll come right back as QCC's Face the Region continues here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Welcome back once again to QCC's Face the Region here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. I'm Zip Zipfel, and this afternoon chatting with the folks from Veteran Services, John McHugh, the coordinator, also Seth Mix, who is the Vet Club president, Veteran Affairs Specialist, and student veteran, as well as William Bennett, another student veteran attending here at QCC. Tell me a bit about the student tracking. Once you get a guy or gal back into the saddle here as far as an education again, it's an ongoing process to help them and really attend to their needs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right, we get a report of all midterm grades at midterms, and we go through the grades. And if they have, some poorer grades, we direct those students to tutoring services. We also track tutoring. We get a printout of how many students and who they are attended tutoring during the semester, each month of the semester, so we can break it down and say, okay, is it working? We look at the grades and do that and see what we can do better. It's constantly, trying to make services better here at Quinsig for the veterans themselves.
So do you see the same, given wherever they happen to be, combat veterans coming back, do they have a specific set of issues that they have to deal with as opposed to other
I can
veterans?
touch on that.
Yeah.
As John mentioned earlier, usually one of the main issues is the math and English knowledge that has kind of fallen through in their times since having gone through regular, high school. So we have, like John mentioned, the tutoring, and something to tie into that is the mentor program that we have here on campus. Usually we have volunteer mentors of someone who's been here a semester or longer. Will and myself are a part of that, and we'll be assigned a certain amount of the freshmen to be able to direct them to, we have math boot camps to get them to move past the math 90, math 95 level so that they can progress forward in the degrees, and basically anything else they can use help with.
Right. So prior to going into the service, do a lot of men and women not necessarily have a career path? Are they just sort of looking at the service as a potential career, and then when they see that sort of coming to a close, and do they start thinking about going back to school, or is that something you encourage them to consider?
Well, I mean, I've seen a bunch of different reasons for people having gone in. You'll meet the lifers, the people who came in for the sole purpose of doing their 20 years, and then, 5-6 years in, they realize, wow, this kind of sucks. And then they'll make a career plan from there and decide to get out and do their own thing. Or myself, that I actually fit that, was that I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up, so I decided, let me do 3 years, and maybe this will get my head straight. And then I decided to move out and become a big boy after my 4 years. And yeah, if you want to take on that.
Like me, myself, I knew what I wanted to do when I got through high school, but I came from a very poor family, and there's no way I could afford college. And I seen the military as an opportunity to serve my country and help them, but also a way for me to get benefits so I could start my school. So I knew once I was in, I could get grants and stuff to finish paying it when my benefits were out.
Right.
There's really two significant groups of veterans that come out that really weren't expecting to come out. With the downsizing of the military over the past few years, they're out on the street basically because the military no longer needs their services.
I got hit by the budget cuts.
And
Yep.
then they're put into quickly find something to do. We have a lot of veterans like that. There's also the disability veterans, the veterans who get out because of a disability. They're in a place where, okay, what do I do now? And some of them don't even know the benefits that they do have. Every time we talk to a student, we talk about voc rehab. if you have a disability rating, Voc Rehab and what Voc Rehab offers. We just guide them in that way. We can't do anything but let them know what other benefits are available for them. Like I said, we're a perfect place here for a veteran to come to school to start on a new path.
Well, you know, and also I think QCC, it dovetails nicely with the whole basic premise and tenet of QCC is it's a great place for kids coming out of high school that don't really know what they want to do to kind of find their path.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine it's the same too, you know, coming out of the service. You touched on a really important part. If there happens to be a veteran listening, what kind of resources to find out? Can he or she go online to determine their benefits, or do they need to talk to somebody?
It's a little confusing to get through. The e-benefits site will tell you what you may qualify for, but it's kind of a hassle if you don't know what you're going in there looking
Like
for.
most government sites.
Yeah,
it's a lot
right.
of red tape.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
A good place for them to start, every town in Massachusetts has a veteran service officer, okay, and they have hours. It's either in the town themselves, there's a couple of towns together in some places. That's the place to start, if you have no idea, because they're the ones who are connected not only to the federal system, they're connected to the state system. And Massachusetts is one of the best states to offer services to veterans.
Like the welcome home bonus.
They have a welcome home bonus.
Yep.
They also have the veterans tuition waiver, and that doesn't mean anything except for it's for all veterans. If you're a World War II veteran still out there, you can get this tuition waiver, you know, just to take some classes. But Massachusetts is really concerned about the status of veterans.
Yeah.
So.
Even me being an out-of-state veteran, because I did not grow up in Massachusetts, I moved up here for medical reasons.
Yeah.
They even had benefits for me. I couldn't get all of them because I wasn't a resident when I first moved up here, but they even had benefits to help me get along and get started on a new life out of the service. So even if you're not from the state or anything like that, they will still help you. They're not just going to turn their back on you because you're not from the state.
Right.
And if there is a veteran out there who doesn't know what his benefits are and is thinking about coming to school, you can always give us a call, 508-854-2721, or find us on the QCC webpage's Veteran Services. We will be glad to help you figure out what you need to do. We can point you in the right directions with the VA, but we can point you, and we also point you in the right direction for studying. And like I said before, Paula came from financial aid, and we can actually help you do the FAFSA if you need it, and to set up financial aid for you.
Or even
We're
if
a one-stop place.
Even if you just need to come in and check.
Exactly. We're open. We have an open door policy. It's open all the time.
John McHugh, Seth Mix, and William Bennett, again, thank you guys seriously for your service and continued success, and hope you continue this great work you're doing, that services here at QCC. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank
you
you.
for having us.
That'll do it for this edition of QCC's Face the Region. Join us again next weekend here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN.
This has been Quinsigamond Community College's Face the Region. Join us again next weekend on AM 830 WCRN.